It's almost every day, but at this point, it's almost every day. Welcome to the newest Roblox video. You love that by now. I think you all like that. You all like that. And that sort of intro scheme that I've been doing for like a while now. It's been going for a while. And it's getting more better, right? Because whatever you say about me is what you say about society. Trapped like that, right? Like the video, put it anywhere else. Try and get more subscriptions to get going, get them rolling in. On the fight for transparency and the fight against censorship, as well as all of the inequality going on. There's a lot of protests out there. Millions have been protesting for a very long time. At this point, you know what it's all about. So you're all going to be asking me, how can I do something? Well, let me be your guest. I got answers for you. I'm going to send you places, and I'm going to make you do shit you thought you never would have been able to do right before. Now, currently, in a state of a world where currently bias is being weaponized and people are considering facts like a form of harassment at this point, and supporting a pedophile rational to do for the better of America for some reason, people have currently lost rationale. But there's still a small portion of people out there who want to do actual better for humanity. They want better, they want actual progress for humanity, and we need to be able to fight off against some of the very evil threat that's out there, and I can help you organize and get that done. You can still be a teenager and have some sort of aspect, and you can still have an impact, right? You want to be that change, says Michael Jackson in one of his songs. Now, first, we need to strategize how this will go. Obviously, every person you know who might be middle-aged might not give a shred. They won't give a shred. Don't expect them to do something. But, hold your horses. Musume. I'm kidding. I'm gonna talk about that game another day. Hold your horses. There's still Gen Z members that want to do something about that. So I've recently fell upon a Rubber Right video talking about what you could do against Trump's government, right? Trump's administration is filled with a bunch of buffoons, a bunch of illegals. Actually, ironic that he says that we can't have illegals running around in the country and using that as a sort of a hysteria max point for his reasoning. Though he says illegals, he's an illegal himself with multiple convictions. So over, you can look about that from Donald Trump, how many convictions he actually has, and it says a lot about his character. Not the point of the video, but I saw that video about Rubber Right made a long time, like some hours ago, that it got released. It's about 5 steps to make a difference. He says that you should call your representatives. Well, fun fact, he leaves a link for a place that I actually want to involve myself in. He leaves links to a lot of stuff, or says stuff that you could do. Now, you could call your representatives, which is something you can do on your part to be able to fight or battle against what's currently going on. Because currently it's all skewed, rogues are downhill, we're trying to we're trying to find justice for everybody, and the shred's going haywire. There's a global censorship war. People are getting hurt, arrested, getting their accounts deleted, or getting censored and being put in places that people often don't feel the most comfortable in, feeling that this world is slowly going into more of a surveillance and dystopian type of world that 1984 sort of predicts happens, and lots of different other places predict happened back in the 80s and 90s. Now, we can go all about that another day. He leaves a link towards town halls. Town halls are something that you can also attend to be able to express your opinion on certain matters. You can't actually do that. You can't do that as a citizen of the United States. Specifically, we start with the United States because currently the United States is the country of freedom. It's not the country of freedom anymore. So we'll fix that. Okay, attend town hall. I'll leave a link for you. And indivisive.org is a great place for you to go to, so you can see when the next town hall happens, right? You can express yourself in ways you thought you never could imagine if only you joined those town halls that you never thought you could have done in the first place. Most people don't know that, but we also got other things to talk about in this video. So obviously, I'm on Roblox, but we need to leave this page for me to be able to show you what I'm talking about. So we're gonna get onto that. I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. Here are specific pages you can visit yourself right now to be able to demand for change. We can train you. We can make you a leader in the current situation, everything. We can make you a leader. We can make you campaign. We can make you pass laws. Think about the larger picture. We need to get this country going in the right direction. And I don't want to hear Donald Trump, as much as you also don't want to hear Donald Trump saying that he'll deserve everything that he has coming for him, mainly portrayed in a good light. We obviously don't want him. So obviously, when you do something like this and help people out, it's because you're helping people that genuinely care, people who feel like they're helpless, which is another point that Robert Reich says in his video calling protecting the vulnerable and doing boycotts and getting into resistance groups. You need to set yourself into resistance groups and do something about that. To be able to do that, you can actually organize this sort of stuff. We can get you into this place. It's probably one of the largest days of protest in US history, right? We have the No Kings protest that happened, right? Trying to rig maps. We have people rising, millions are rising in the political scene. We have that going. Join this website, sign yourself in, take emails. If you don't like using Google, get Proton. Use Proton. Proton is an application that allows you to bypass what Google doesn't want you to see. And also it's a VPN. It's also an email provider. It's also, I guess email processor or some shit. But there's a lot of things I can go on about Proton. But that doesn't matter. We need to get into the Fair Access to Banking Act that you can also support. Now, it is supported mainly by Republicans. A lot of Republicans are supporting it. It hasn't even been passed through the Senate, and it's not been enforced. But it could happen. It could become law. It could become urban affair. It could be requirement. Right now, we don't want Visa and MasterCard, which I'll show on the screen, to do shit that it's doing right now. We hate everything it's doing. We hate Visa and MasterCard. We know Visa and MasterCard's implications with Roblox. We know about the Tech Coalition. We know about Louisiana. Soon Roblox, but also being part of COSA, which is one of the first states to pass COSA, Louisiana themselves. We hate censorship. But with this, let's help gamers make a more permanent step to making sure their games are touched by payment processors like Visa and MasterCard. We can't allow them to do whatever they want. So this is a great way to fight against unnecessary abuses of power from payment processors. We can also get yourself here. If you want to reclaim the net, you can resist censorship, reject surveillance, and reclaim your voice and support the exposure of censorship and surveillance and protect your digital rights if you get yourself assigned with Reclaim the Net. They currently report all that is going on that's like basically related to sort of shit, like the US Treasury on digital ID, UK Children Commissioner, VIP, the VPN digital ID checks, Lasers War on Roblox transparency failure into digital ID, the Crusade, Tulsi Gabbard, all this crazy shit, like Germany's federal courts and ad blockers in infringing on copyright, crazy shit that we obviously want to know about but want to know more on. You can get yourself informed right now and be able to step into places you never thought you would originally, because currently we need leaders and we need information, reliable information that isn't distorted by Trump's administration or UK and Germany's administrations currently, which needs checks. We need checks and balances, and they need to figure it out the hard way because they aren't passing the essential law to be able to get this all done the right way. We need people to come and moderate this, not that. Now, Stop Killer Robots is a movement that technology should be used to empower all people, not to reduce us to stereotypes, labels, objects, or just patterns of ones and zeros. They are a movement based on trying to make sure that AI isn't used for really unethical uses like war technology. We know that international law is trying to get autonomy into its weapon systems, like Spotify, which I can show you an image of. Spotify is supporting war drone technology and using literally lots of like a huge fragments of artists' paychecks from Spotify. If you think that I was like, like people who said that, Viz, why aren't you a millionaire? Why aren't you making money? Let me tell you, my creative industry is in shambles. It is broken. The system is rigged. That's what we're trying to fix. How can you be a millionaire without purposely being evil yourself to be able to make that $1 million? Every person who makes it there either is by probability or they are corrupt and industry plant. That's not right. I can't be a millionaire the way you want it if the system's stupidly rigged. So we'll deal with that. Spotify is obviously an example where they took huge fractions of what artists could have won, and they actually don't pay artists fairly, by the way. You can look into that. And we also have Stop Killing Games. Stop Killing Games is a consumer movement started to challenge the legality of publishers destroying video games they have sold to customers. An increasing number of video games are sold effectively as goods with no stated expiration date, but designed to be completely unplayable as soon as support from the publisher ends. This practice is as a form of obsolescence and is not only detrimental to customers but makes preservation effectively impossible. Furthermore, the legality of this practice is largely untested in many countries. Able to deal with that as well. And then we have had complaints going on. We've had this talked about on other channels, not here on this channel enough. I haven't been able to talk about Stop Killing Games enough, but I have probably mentioned it before. And we also have the Digital Fairness. The EU is currently accepting public input on the Digital Fairness Act. The Digital Fairness Act does not currently address the problem of publishers currently disabling video games, but they have solid subclauses, but covers adjacent issues, some that pertain to video games also, and is a good fit for adding this issue to its protections. And they're suggesting people deal with this as well. We have UK petitions, we have all sorts of crazy shit, right? We need to be able to support the Fair Accessing Banking Act, right? We need Reclaim the Net. We need to stop killer bots. We need to stop killing games, to stop killing the consumer's ability to own their own games. We need to be able to act and voice our concerns on administrations currently in the US, primarily because the US is a major giant in the industry. When it comes to redistricting, when it comes to the creative industry, the music and art industry, it's majorly because the Japanese love Western culture as much as we love Eastern culture over there. And currently, we need to be able to make sure that these countries don't go into places worse than we are at right now. So this is all I have to say. Be informed, make sure to protect the weak, because we still have people who are scared of being able to do anything. They don't want to step in. They are uninformed, and I absolutely understand your fear. I know you were terrified. You are feeling as if your world's getting worse, and you are not wrong. We need to make sure that these communities become much more accountable for what they are doing. Specifically, communities that you're able to turn the direction of thought process forward. Many have communities out there who are still a little scared of changing their opinion on what's going on in the political scene, which are still voting for Donald Trump and still Republican proudly. We need to be able to change people who are able to be changed, or able to be sympathized with, and able to explain your points to without it getting violent. Let me get this straight. I know there are people who are hard to change. Do not deal with the people who are the hardest to change. Don't worry about them. These people are stuck up in their own world. They won't change their mind. They're stuck. Don't bother with them. All they'll do is make it longer for you to be able to finish what you're trying to do. We need to fix the democratic process right now that's currently broken. We need leaders like you. You know what? As right now, stating today, it is August, 19 in 2025. I will become the leader of a part of a fragment of what is going on. I want to be one of the leaders in the GCW, in the global censorship war, but also in the current battle for no kings in the system right now currently rigged by oligarchy. We need to be able to organize together, and again, I'll gladly go over here, go join my Discord server. We can organize this shit, because currently social media is also being under attack, as well as news media being under attack. And censorship's getting crazy. We know about the August 13th incident, right? YouTube's new system with AI and ID verification, that's going to happen to every single app, every app that you'll know of, and social media as you know it. So as long as that continuously keep happening, you're never going to see the light of day, and you're never going to ever see real information ever again. You'll just have propaganda be your main source of information, and it'll just lead to another CCP ruled China type of a country, and the United States wasn't that type of thing in the first place. We know Donald Trump's also panicking over the elections. We know although all this shit is going on, I'm about to watch this video about Katakal calling out Visa and MasterCard. We know Governor Newsom is doing shit about what is going on. We know about the rigging, and we know about all the crazy shit going on. In a world where we need facts, reality, honesty, and sympathy right now, as much as we need rational thinkers and discussing over all these things that we have to yet discuss. And we need more campaigns, we need more protests and more organization. We need to empower the people's voices. We need to be able to make the difference that most adults right now, they're middle age, who are not able to do so anymore. They are currently being used and abused in the industry right now for labor force. And the labor force is mainly larger in the middle age range, like the 40s or 50s or 30s. Mainly the 40-year-olds are getting taken in as if they are like animals and putting them into spots where they don't have workers' rights. Unions are being busted. Strikes going on. We need to talk about that, but we also need to act on it. That is the entire point. This is why I made my channel, not just to play video games and make a fool of myself and get $2 million chat into the 3 months. I'm here to make a felling difference. That's why I started the felling motinous movement. That's why I called the Projectian. I am the basis of creation. I am a creator. I'm a visionary who visioned for over a decade what the world could be in a serial system that could literally replace all the felling going on. I didn't study my ass off just to later play video games for the rest of my life, work a wage job, and have a wife that only has ambitions to cook for me. I don't want that felling world like that. I don't want my children, if I had any, or adopted children, to get into a world where they have fucking no rights. That's absolutely absurd. That's absurd. And we are going back to the 1920s, 1960s of all the shit that's going on, like women's rights and African American voting rights, the mail-in ballots, and all the shit going on. We need to stop ICE overreach, and we need to be able to make that change. We need to make our difference, put our differences aside, and unite together and make this thing the most incredible moment in history. We're going to fight like hell this decade, and I'm going to make that felling happen. That will be under my name, and if I die through it, then so be it. I didn't go without a felling bang. I will make that difference happen. If you think I'm overdoing it, trust me, you've never seen me talk to millions of people before. Just because I'm not famous doesn't mean I'm not educated, and it doesn't mean that I'm not ready. I've been ready my entire life for this entire war that's going on right now. This is a war on freedom of expression and freedom of privacy and freedom of speech. I'm trying to get the facts straight to people. So right now, if you are one of those who are scared, allow me to give you a reason not to be scared. There is a large front of terrorism going on. And let me switch the screen right now. I know about the large front of terrorism. I know about the MAGA cult. I know about the Nazis resurfacing, modern Nazis. I know about all of the rigging. I know about the attacks on people who are in the political scene. We had people try to assassinate representatives and try to assassinate senators left and right in this country. We have Japan battling against censorship. From Visa and MasterCard's Japan, Visa is, currently removing Shred off the ground along with Collector Shell. I know about them. I know about XAI. I know about Mecha Hitler. I know they're feeling scary. I know they're feeling billionaires. I know they're feeling countries who had stubborn history showing that they barely care about their people. Right now, it's the time to make sure they feeling care now. Absolutely now. So I'm going to get my voice out here. The video will end short notice so that I don't have to edit for this, edit this for any longer. Stay safe out there. Be informed. We need strong leaders out there. We need to make sure facts aren't conspiracies in the minds of people who are able to change, not the people who are not wanting to change. Don't forget about them. Work on the people who are able to convince. Gather resources. Find alternatives. I gave you alternatives. It's on this channel. And now, once that funding is dealt with, it doesn't matter how long it takes, like weeks or months or years. We're going to make sure the 2020s don't go to waste. We won't enter a dystopian world not without a fight. So all I can say is that I've been at this for a long time. It is not the first time I talked about freedom of expression. It is not the first time I talked about freedom of speech and freedom of privacy. I have a long history on the internet. And most people don't believe that just because of my age, just because of how much, if I have a job or not. I absolutely don't care about that shit. I care about freedoms, creativity, vision, imagination, long-term products, dexterity, dignity of a cause, rational discussion. I like seeing people with tough backgrounds making me flinch whenever I talk about them. Because then they're people who have worked their fucking entire life, getting themselves in their smart asses. I want them to feel respected. I want to feel respected. I want you to feel as if you're on the top of the world without feeling as if people are going to call you out on it so you feel bad about it. Nobody's going to call you out on it and you'll feel bad. You're going to feel proud. You're going to rise up champion. You're going to be on a fucking top of the world now. And I know it's going to suck. I know it's going to suck. I know there are people who hate you. I know you feel like you want to kill yourself. I know. That's why I'm here. A voice for the outcasts. A voice for the different. It doesn't matter what skin, culture, age, or color, or gender you are. I don't care. You are a difference. You are a walking difference. You will be theory. You beat creators theory walking afoot. You prove that something like this can happen, and you be the ones to first set the damn example that we as creators can be the very thing that unifies the entire falling world back to its roots. We can change history. You must believe it. I hope I was able to help you today with the information I provided you, and we'll be discussing it later if anybody chooses to want to listen, and I'll tell you what you can do right now. It is a dark year in history, but have no fear. I'm with you. Ready, rest assured. I won't be going anywhere, and to those who want to stop this from happening, I'm coming for you. You best be sure. I am coming for you. Nothing else has to be said. That's all I have to say.